Morning, everybody. So a little bit of a different video today. I know we have the era battle information for era of anniversaries, and I've been working on math for that. But then we found out that the math is actually different than other era battles, and which means I need to retool everything. And TLDR, I mean, it comes back to the era of rebates versus the era of return on investment, and it's just something that I don't think players should really reasonably invest in unless it's something that they were going to heavily invest in anyway. So today we're going to take a step back, and instead I'd like to show off a utility that I started working on about 6 months ago. I released it on Substack as a beta. About a month ago, I came back to the project. I worked on it a little bit more. I released it on Reddit as a little bit of a beta. I'm happy with where the product is now. The I was taking to calling it a crystal income calculator, but it isn't really just a calculator. It's more of a utility so that you can understand your own farming strategies. And I want to show that off a little bit today. It is free. I will leave the Google Sheet in the comments. But with that said, let's get into it. So here is, and the sheet is called a crystal income calculator, but again, I think it's more of a utility to understand your own income as well as your own expenditures. Um, Once again, it is free. I have it out there for everybody. It is a private sheet, though, which means you will have to make a copy if you want to play with it, obviously, so that nobody can mess with the math. I do recommend, if you want to use this, that you do save a copy of the actual base sheet as well, because there is a notes section and a fixes section and a changes section where I do play with things and I do try out new things and I do try to add new utilities to this to make it more useful to the community. As an example, I am testing out something for era battle completions and trying to determine if doing era battles and bringing era battles up is right for you. I don't know if I'm going to finish that part, but that's neither here nor there. To start, this is your base sheet, which basically will tell you your crystal income right up here based on a bunch of easy, very, very super easy metrics within the next sheet. Here are some crystal expenses on the right hand side and some projections so you can kind of see what your net crystal income is based on your expenses. Going to where you actually fill things out, it is super, super, super easy. I head over to this fill out area. I select my two territory battles, whatever they may be, right? Doesn't matter. I can choose any one of them. If I'm using Rise of the Empire, I do want to make sure that I hit Rise of the Empire twice. And it was important that I did this just because I know some guilds don't do it that way. Selecting your number of stars, the system does know. See, you can see here it calls you out, calls you a liar. It does kind of track things and let you know based on what the actual max stars are. Checking your GAC rankings all the way down. Hey, I don't even do GAC. I'm at the super very bottom, all the way up to Kyber 1 to 50, and it'll update all of this for you as well. And then some MISC income stuff, your fleet income, your different events that come around. Galactic bounties, I have it set a very specific way, but it's not necessarily an exact every 30 days. And then finally, of course, the login calendar, which you do need to set yourself in terms of the numbers, right? Whatever it may be. And you can see that when we come back here, this will update for you based on those numbers for your daily income. And some of these numbers are based specifically without division. So your fleet arena, that is a daily income. Your dailies are based on the box giving you a minimum of 5, which you can see here because we don't have an EV on that extra box that comes out, that 5 to 250 extra. Some of these are based off of a 28-day calendar because TB is based off a 28-day calendar. GAC is based off a 28-day calendar. And then the system itself will actually determine what month of the year it is when you're looking at the sheet, so that when we talk about the login calendar, it does look at the amount of days in that month specifically and splits it out. We almost have 1337 here, which is kind of nice based off of what I have. And it shows me, based on whatever I set in that fill-in income, that my daily crystal income, my gross without any expenses right now, is 1,198. Super nice, right? But I also have this fill-in expenses chart as well. And this current crystal thing we'll talk about a little bit later. But I can pick my level of energy refreshes, and I could bring this past 12. I don't think it's necessary right now. Maybe if there are some people out there that are going past 12 for some unforsaken, God only knows reason, it'll kind of let you know how many crystals per day you are spending on your different refreshes, your shipments, your shipment refreshes, I should say. Right. I do know some players in the high end that do refresh these things. Mods are a little bit different because they stay at 15 and you can do it up to 99 times a day. I would never do that, but some people will. And the most important part here is actually your marquee planning, right? I plan to rush 0 of the marquees, boom, whatever. I plan to rush both marquees. I don't buy the episode pass. I do buy the episode pass. The number of stars you want to get to. You'll notice there is no 6 in one day, because 6 in one day is actually the same as 7 in 1 week. But this will calculate out the number of crystals you will need as a specific average in your daily in order to reach that goal for you, which is super, super, super nice. All of the math is sitting back here in this nice little area with all this background stuff going on as well. And then there is an area over on the right for pack and shipment purchases. I wouldn't do this. I mean, listen, I have a frequency here, daily, weekly episodes, so every 28 days, monthly, every 30 days, and it'll do the math specifically for you based on the frequency that you purchase something. If you buy something as a one-off, I wouldn't put it here, but if you know, hey, I'm going to be buying those 500 crystal packs for chromium transistors, don't do that. It's the worst possible thing you could do. 5 times a month, you could go in here, type that in, quantity 5, crystal cost, 500, and I'm buying that every month. My daily cost, boom, it's going to update for you. Super nice. When I put this on Reddit, somebody did request I add a node refresh area. You don't necessarily need to add the specific character name. Technically, it's there just in case you like to keep track. But really, the important thing is how many refreshes you're doing. And I kept it to 4 because anything beyond that is a little bit ridiculous. And please don't do that. And when you come back over here to your crystal income, we can see, hey, based on the settings that I've set, I am earning 1,198 crystals per day. I am spending 1,150 crystals per day. I have a daily crystal income net of 48 crystals, which pops into about 1,348 crystals per month for me as a net positive, which is not great. I'd prefer to have more than that, but it's kind of nice that I can know that. Now, see here it says days until 0. And the reason for that is I can put in, hey, I have 20,000 crystals. And let's just say I'm buying something that is 200 crystals daily, quantity 1. I can come over here and I can see, hey, I am spending 1,350 crystals per day. I have a deficit of 152 crystals per day, and it's going to take me 131 days before I run out of crystals, which I think is an interesting thing for players to understand, that your deficit is not always a bad thing, especially if it's short term, or especially if you're going to be increasing your daily crystal income over time. So this is a utility. You can use these little handy things on the side to go to the different sheets that should help players out. And I have been seeing players using it. And it is something that I am planning on continuing to build for people. So if you do have suggestions here to help build this out more, you can hit it in the comments. You can let me know on Discord. I've taken some of those suggestions. There are other ones that I haven't taken because even though I feel like they are great ideas, they aren't really necessary for this specific project that I have going on. But once again, you will need to make a copy of the sheet. And if you do make a copy of the sheet, I highly recommend saving the actual page as well, just so that you can check in and you can see if anything has been changed or added or fixed or messed with in the interim so that you can save it in the future. So I hope that that is helpful. I know people are using it. I've seen screenshots of people using it. People have DM'd me, letting me know that they're using it. But I want to get this out there for more people, so that you can understand your own spending in the game, so that you can understand how to go about being more efficient in the game, and so that you don't have to do it yourself. But with all of that said, peace out, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And even though the Broncos are not in the Super Bowl this Sunday, let's ride.